So once we figure out our why, then we want to really look at your ideal client. Um, a lot of people kind of push back on this and will say, well, I don't want to specialize because I don't want to like keep people out from seeing me, which is a valid concern. But imagine this scenario. Imagine you go out to eat at a fancy French restaurant and your father-in-law or your grandpa or your grandma comes and they're like, I'm more of a meat and potatoes kind of guy. I want to have just a burger. So imagine if you said to the chef, I know that this is kind of insulting, but in that you are a Michelin-rated restaurant, but my father-in-law really just wants a burger. Can you whip something up with whatever you have? It's probably going to be one of the most amazing burgers your father-in-law has. But if you went to a mom and pop restaurant and said, you know what I really want is I would love a creme brulee. Please, I'm dying for creme brulee. They're probably not going to be able to whip up a great creme brulee. See, when people are specialists, they can typically do generalist work. But when they're just, they typically don't do specialist work. You can ask your brain surgeon about the rash on your arm, and he can say, yeah, just go get some cream for that. Or no, go see a dermatologist. But your doctor, you're not your major primary care doctor. You're not going to say, hey, can you just do some brain surgery real quick? No, you're going to go to a specialist. So the same is true in counseling. People will assume that if you work with angry kids like I do, you can work with anxious kids, you can work with parents that have angry kids, you can work with angry spouses, but your marketing then can be all around an area that you can be known for. So one thing I do with my consulting clients in the very first time that I meet with them is we create what's called a business avatar or an ideal client profile. We actually give them a name. And so say we're going with the angry kid. So let's name him James. And he's 14 years old. But I also want to make an ideal client profile for who's going to make the decision for James to come to counseling. So for me, statistically, it's usually the mom that picks up the phone and makes that phone call. So say I have mom, let's see if he's 15, maybe she had him a little bit young. Maybe she was 20, so maybe she's 35, 36, somewhere in there. Give her the name, say Janet, and give her an age. As well, I ask my consulting clients, like, how would they vent? So when Janet is frustrated with James, how would she vent about him? Who would she vent to? Would she reach out on Facebook? Would she be isolated? Is she connected in a church? Is she connected somewhere else? How would they vent? And then next we want to look at who are they connected to? So are they connected to a church? Are they connected to somebody else? Like really knowing this profile of them, and even to the point of picking out a picture online, not of a client, not of someone you know, but someone that to you looks like Janet, looks like James in your head. It's going to do a number of things. When you do any blogging or writing on your website, you're going to speak as if you're speaking to them. As well, you're going to then have kind of a better idea of their struggles. The Kupla brothers from Kupla Media, when we were at Slowdown School coaching people on their videos, they had to help these therapists who weren't super comfortable on video to, in 30 seconds, talk about their ideal client. And the structure they gave is just a magnificent structure. The first was, what's a struggle that they're dealing with? So what's their life like now? Paint that out for them. Next, then talk about what your plan is within counseling. So we usually have 3 to 5 sessions, and then we have a family session. And then talk about what's on the other side of counseling. So by the end, you'll be able to do what as a parent? You'll be able to feel what as an angry kid? So if we have that pain and struggle and what their everyday life is, then the plan, and then the outcome, that's a great structure for how we speak about our ideal client. Something Kelly Higdon from Zinni also said was, imagine that they were journaling the night before. That mom, before she picked up the phone to call you, that night before, what would her journal say? Maybe even write that out, like, dear journal, I am so frustrated with James. James is just under my skin. He won't do his homework. His teachers, I'm getting calls like at work and I'm going to lose my job if the principal calls one more time. That gets you into the head of that ideal client so much faster.